We are going to look at how to use division to determine a term. So remember, a term is a number or an object in a sequence. In this case, the first bead, let's pretend this is a bracelet here. My first bead is term 1. My second bead is term 2, term 3, and so forth. So far on my bracelet, I've added 9 beads, so I have 9 terms. When I'm looking at patterns that repeat, my core will be made up of my first terms, and those terms are going to repeat and make a pattern. So if I look at my core, I have green, yellow, pink, green, yellow, pink, green, yellow, pink. The part of my pattern that repeats is this green, yellow, pink. So this is my core. Now, it's okay if I just want to know what my 10th beat is. I can just repeat my pattern or look at what I have. But sometimes I'll want to know what my 37th term will be. And that's going to take a long time to count up to or to draw out. So there's a simpler way, and that's using division. Let's take a look. The first thing I want to do is decide which term I'm interested in. And I'm going to show you some examples that are already here so that we can see how it works. I want to know what my 4th term is going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting the term I'm curious about, and I'm going to divide it by the number of terms in my core. You can see here my core has 1, 2, 3 terms in it. So I'm going to say 4 divided by 3. Now, when I'm dividing, I might get a remainder. I might have some that are left over, and that's going to help me determine which color my term is. So I know that 4 times 1 is 3, and I know I know that 3 times 1 is 3, and I know that 3 times 2 is 6, but I'm looking for 4, so 6 is too big. So 3 goes into 4 evenly one time, and that gives me 3. But to get to 4, I have to add 1 more. So I have a remainder of 1. It doesn't go in evenly. This remainder is what's going to be helpful. When I look here, I can see my remainder is 1. So I'm going to look at term 1. Term 1 is green. And if you look here, my 4th term, that's the term I'm looking for, is green. What that means is that my core is shown once, and then I'm adding 1 more bead. So I'm going to go back because my core is finished. I'm going to go back and start again. So I'm going to add the first term. Let's take a look at another one. What if I want to know what the 8th term is going to be? I'm going to start with the number 8. That's the term I'm trying to find out. I have to divide it by the number of terms, which is still 3. I still have 3 terms making up my core. 3 times 1 is 3. That's too small. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. 3 times 3 is 9. That's bigger than 8. So 3 goes into 8 evenly twice. That's 6. But to get to 8, I have to add 2 more. So I have a remainder of 2. There are 2 that are left over. If I have 8 dots and I put them into groups of 3, 1, 2 groups of 3, and 2 dots that are left over that don't fit into a group of 3. 2 remainder 2. Now, I'm going to look here. This time, I'm looking at the number 2. So term 2 is yellow. And let's check it out. If I have my core twice, this is telling how many times my core repeats fully. One time, two times, and then I add one, two extra beads. You can see that my eighth term is yellow. Because after I've repeated my core twice, I'm going to continue to add two beads. And since they're always in the same order, it's going to be the same color as the second bead of my core. All right, let's try one more here. We're going to try one that we can't see yet. We're going to try one that's off the board. I want to know, oops, what my 12th term will be. So let's take a look. 12 divided by 3. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12. So 3 goes into the number 12 evenly 4 times. And my remainder is 0. I don't need to add any more to make 12. I can just have 3 groups of 4. But what does that 0 mean? The 0 means that there aren't any left over. So that means that I've completed my core. So the last bead I put on will be the last number of my core. In this case, it will be my third one. So 0 is always going to be the last term of my core. In this instance, I can say the 12th term will be pink. And let's take a look at how this works. So I'm going to use my highlighter here, and I'm going to continue on. So I have term 9, I'll need term 10. Move this over just a little bit. Term 11 and term 12 is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to start with green. Oops, that's not green. Start with green. Next comes yellow. And then comes pink. And as you can see here, if I circle my core 4 times, that's how many times my core repeats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that my core fits in evenly. So the last bead that I place is going to be the last color of my core, or the last term in my core. So whenever you get a 0, you're always looking at that last term. If you get a remainder, you're looking at the term with that remainder. I hope this was helpful.